So for vasovagal syncope, anytime a patient is in pain or let's say they are overly excited, overexcitement, okay, overexcitement. Let's say they are standing in an environment that is so hot. The temperature in the environment is very, very high. So heat, okay. They are overly excited, pain, heat, or they are standing for too long. Somebody is standing for too long. This has happened to a lot of you when you went to the theater for the first time, right? Yes. So pain, overexcitement, heat, standing too long. When these triggers are there, what they do is that quickly, what they are going to do is that they will send afferent impulses. Okay. Afferent impulses will be sent to the brain. Yeah. And you are going to have efferent impulses. Okay. Returned via the vagal nerve. Okay. And when the vagal nerve comes in, vagal nerve, what does it do? It inhibits the heart. So it will send cardio-inhibitory impulses, okay, which will slow down the heart as well as the contractility of the heart. Again, it will also cause decreased sympathetic output to the small vessels as well as the heart. If there's decreased sympathetic output to the heart, automatically the heart will not contract fast. The force of contraction will be low. If there's decreased sympathetic output to the blood vessels, it means that the alpha-1 receptors will become what? They are going to be downregulated and there will not be any vasoconstriction. If there's no vasoconstriction, we expect to see vasodilation. That's what is happening here. Okay, so that's how it comes about. And vasovagal syncope, these are the triggers. And usually, patient will recover within 2 minutes. That's why I said approximately 2 minutes is a factor that you have to look at. Okay, they recover within 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, they will recover. They will be fine. Okay, yes. So that is basically how to break down this question. Another way they can put this question is, you see, this question was centered around standing for too long. That's what the question was centered around. Another way they can bring this question is they will tell you, let's say a lady, 15-year-old, went for vaccination. Yeah. Immediately after vaccination, she walked out. Yeah. 30 seconds into walking out, she suddenly started feeling what? She started feeling breathless. And she started feeling breathless, after which she passed out. Then they say onlookers said she recovered or she regained consciousness within 90 seconds. Then they'll ask which of the following is the most likely cause of the patient's syncope. And you see them bringing the same alternative answers. Again, that is going to be vasovagal syncope. And vasovagal, from the name vasovagal, yeah, vagal, definitely that is a parasympathetic output. Yeah. So that's how you are going to be thinking. Yeah. So another way they can also bring this question is usually these we call vasovagal syncope. But another way they can trick you is that they will not bring these triggers, right? They will not bring these triggers. They will rather bring they will bring different set of triggers, which will correlate to the vasovagal syncope, just that that particular vasovagal syncope will be a special one. So in a question where they are asking that the patient after urinating, right? After they finish urinating, they passed out. Or after they defecated, they pass out. Or after coughing, they pass out. Yes, this is still going to be vasovagal syncope, but it's a special type. We call it situational vasovagal syncope. So the question is still the same thing, but a different trigger. Okay, so take note of that. Maturation, coughing, defecation. Yes, they will give rise to vasovagal syncope, all right, but we call that situational vasovagal syncope. Is there any question on this? I mean, I hope you've gotten it. Any question?
Please, I have a question concerning those who also they tie a tie on their neck and
Okay, okay,
they come
okay.
with
All right. So for the tie on the neck, right? That will not be a vasovagal syncope. That will be carotid hypersensitivity, right? Yes, because that's where the carotid sensors are. Yeah, the baroreflex, yeah, centers are around that side, right? Yeah, we call that carotid hypersensitivity. When they tie their neck, the tie, when they tie it too, snugly, when they put it on snugly, too tight, when their tie is too tight, yeah, it will be irritating them. So this is how that works. Let me break that one down for you. So let's say a man, I mean, upon wearing his tie, had a sudden collapse. Yeah. Had a suddenly lost consciousness and regain it later on. Regain it within a few minutes. Yeah, that's carotid hypersensitivity. This is how it works. For carotid hypersensitivity, you see where the tie is closer to the carotid artery, right? Where the sensors are, the sinus, the carotid sinus. So this actually we call it carotid sinus hypersensitivity. So once it wraps on the carotid sinus, it would quickly trigger cranial nerve 9, okay, which will send the afferent impulses to the brain, okay? So that will go to the brain, okay, the brainstem. Then, immediately that is done, from the brainstem, you will have the efferent impulses coming down. And the efferent impulses, they will be transmitted through cranial nerve 10. That is vagal nerve again. And the vagal nerve, what would it do? Just like we said, cardio inhibitory impulses. It will depress sympathetic output to the heart, as well as the blood vessels. So blood pressure will drop. There will be decreased blood flow to the brain. And that's what we call the syncope as a result of the carotid sinus hypersensitivity. Good?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. All right.